On July 11, 2021, the space race reached a major milestone. The first billionaire left Earth in his very own rocket. Richard Branson is the first billionaire to travel to the edge of space in his own ship, the Virgin Galactic VSS Unity. The era of space tourism has officially begun, with other billionaires lining up to take off in their rockets next. But how did Branson get ahead of the crowd? And will the future of space travel really be accessible or just astronomically expensive? Richard Branson's trip off the planet wasn't the first time a billionaire went to space, but it was the first time a billionaire did so in his own spacecraft. It's been a long time coming. The groundwork for billionaires rocketing off to other planets began all the way back in the 1980s. The origins of the billionaire space race can be linked to Peter Diamandis, who in the 1980s founded the Students for the Exploration of Development of Space. Jeff Bezos would go on to become a chapter president. In the 1990s, after not seeing the kind of growth in space travel he would have liked, Diamandis decided to light a fire under the space tourism market and initiate the Ansari X Prize, encouraging the creation of new space travel technology. Microsoft's Paul Allen went on to win the $10 million prize by creating the scaled composites Tier 1 platform of Spaceship One and White Knight One. And this is where Richard Branson comes in. Branson's Virgin Group bought the winning technology, and with it, he founded Virgin Galactic in 2004. Originally, they promised space tourism would begin in 2009, but the company suffered a lot of setbacks, like its first-generation Spaceship Two crashing in the Mojave Desert during a test flight. The company's second spacecraft, the VSS Unity, was rolled out in 2016. Its first powered flight happened in 2018, sparking Virgin Galactic to become the first publicly traded space tourism company just a year later. The company's shares doubled in the first half of 2021, lifting their value to about $11.8 billion at the time we're making this video. A report from Morgan Stanley estimates that by 2030, the company may be seeing revenues of about $1.3 billion. It may have taken 17 years to get this flight, but in July 2021, Branson finally boarded the VSS Unity. He was joined by 2 pilots and 3 mission specialists. The flight launched from Spaceport America, the world's first commercial spaceport. It's located along a desolate stretch in New Mexico, spanning 18,000 acres. The spacecraft took off from a conventional runway while attached to the underbelly of a carrier ship, the White Knight II. The ship flew to 50,000 feet and had to reach more than 3 times the speed of sound, about 2,300 miles per hour, before releasing the spacecraft. From there, its engines ignited, and it rocketed to the edge of space. Branson didn't orbit the Earth, but he flew to an altitude of more than 50 miles, where he experienced about 4 minutes of weightlessness. The short-lived but exciting journey ended soon after, with the spacecraft slowly making its way back down to Earth and gliding to a stop. The successful trip quickly convinced Virgin Galactic to raise their prices on future space trips. A seat on one of the company's spaceships originally cost $200,000, but now it's $250,000, with the price expected to rise again after more successful trips. The price tag isn't too much for some people. The company estimates more than 600 people from 60 countries are on the wait list. Branson's trip was only the first of many billionaires taking their opportunity to leave Earth behind. Elon Musk's company, SpaceX, has already ferried cargo ships to and from the International Space Station and flew NASA astronauts. They're planning the first mission to space with an all-civilian crew. SpaceX is keeping quiet on how much has been spent on the Starship program to date, but Musk estimates it will cost $5 billion to complete. Part of his focus is on making future space travel cheaper. While a Falcon 9 rocket costs $62 million and the operation cost of a launch is $28 million, Musk believes the ship's reusability will drive the cost as low as $2 million. Experts estimate with this tech, a future trip around the moon could cost a passenger as little as $100,000. Oh, that's it? Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin trip is like Branson's, but his capsule can reach even higher altitudes. At over 60 miles, he might beat Branson in the space race depending on how you look at it. The edge of space is often defined by the Kármán line at 62 miles. Branson's trip only took him above 50 miles, which is how the Air Force recognizes the boundary of space. Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket and capsule are even more pricey. A passenger spent $28 million at an auction to join Bezos on his trip. While future commercial flights aboard the ship haven't been priced, experts estimate that will cost $500,000 per passenger for a 6-passenger, 10-minute flight. Space tourism can also get more luxurious. 3 people paid $55 million each to Axiom Space in Houston for an 8-day SpaceX trip to the International Space Station and Dragon capsule, which features a glass-domed observation deck. However, you don't necessarily have to be rich to leave the Earth. Richard Branson is giving away 2 tickets to space in partnership with Omaze. Charles Simonyi, who built the first versions of Microsoft Office, was the first billionaire to go to space. He didn't go on his own ship, but he's left the Earth twice, once in 2007 and again in 2009. He traveled to the International Space Station via space tourism firm Space Adventures, and it cost him $60 million, just in case you were wondering.